Hello and good evening to you. Happy Sunday, whatever you have been doing. It's so good to have you with us here at the Light Christian Spiritualist Church, Weymouth. If it's your first time here with us this evening, welcome. We're so pleased that you found us here in this little corner of the internet. You are so welcome here, and it's really lovely to have you with us. If you are one of the very, very beloved members of our family that are here week in, week out, every Sunday, or watching on catch up, we really do value you being with us. It is such a joy to see such amazing responses to you all for our Sunday services, whether you catch them live or on replay, and for the amount of love that generates. Thank you so much for being with us. It's my great pleasure to introduce the lovely Suzette to you, who some of you saw yesterday online for a very short moment in time, a little intro, but it's a real joy to have you with us. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Eventually, when we got on, a few technical issues that have, I thought, oh no, please not. But lovely to be with you all. I watch your lives and I love them, and you've had some really great guests. And so I feel very honoured to be here tonight with you, Ashley, actually. So, and everybody that's watching.
Super, thank you. I think we're going to have a lot of fun this evening. I think it's going to have there's a certain feeling of lightness that I've got this afternoon, and I don't know about everyone else, but whether you managed to get any time outside, just in the break between the showers, certainly in Dorset, it was really lovely at certain points, and taking a lot of strength and upliftment at this time of year from being outside in the natural world. Oh my goodness, there are so many people on tonight. I'm just going to say a couple of quick hellos. Hello to lovely Mary, hope you're well. To Nicola and all of the people that are watching from Littleport, it's really lovely to have you with us. To Angie Page, Susan, to Donna. Hi Donna, how are you doing? Happy anniversary, hope that you are well. Hello to Marion, Jennifer Steve. Hello Jennifer, how are you doing? Lovely Jamie here, week in, week out. Oh, look, none other than Adam Berry. How are you doing, Adam? Really good.
Morning, Adam. No, it's not morning. Evening, Adam.
Really good to have you with us. Hello to lovely Phil. How are you doing, Phil? All the way from Wimbledon. Lovely to have you with us. Hello to Linda Marie, such a dear soul, such a massive supporter of all things spiritual. Thank you so much for everyone who's with us. Please feel free to put your name and where you're from in the comments box. It's really lovely to reach out so that you can be fully embraced and welcomed by the community online. So without further ado, because time is of the essence, friends, we have this compacted service this evening, 45 minutes of joy and upliftment for you all. So what we're going to do is we're going to start as we always start, which is to light our candles together. So if you want to grab your matches or your lighter and your candle, and as always, when we light our candle, we do this as a real symbol of intention for ourselves, that we're creating some sacred space, some special time to be, no matter where you are in your house, just you are with us right now. We are held in community together. And when you light your candle, I really like to visualize the light that we're sending out of all of our houses, wherever we are in the world, and we're all sending out light at the same time, as a real beacon of hope and upliftment for people. Okay. And so without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Suzette for your opening prayer for us.
Thank you very much. Everybody would just like to join me in whatever space you've created for yourself this evening, so in that comfortable place. As we sit here this evening together, with this wonderful opportunity to open up our eyes and our hearts to all possibilities available to each person sat here and each person on the planet. The connections we share in our faith and belief bring a sense of belonging and helps us to go up on our pathway. As we sit here this evening, may we be blessed with universal love and respect for each other and all in humanity. Amen. I forgot the name.
Thank you so much. Now, friends, we're going to come together in our opening prayer, which is the Lord's Prayer that we say together. And so we say, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And leave us not when in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Super. Thank you, everybody. And now this is the part of the service that we dedicate to absent healing, and all forms of healing, and any form of wishing to be of service to the spirit world and to people in your lives is allowing that healing energy to flow through us. So whether you're used to sending absent healing or whether this is the very first time you've tried it, what I'd invite you to do now, if you're willing, is just to allow your eyes to gently close. And as I read out a prayer of universal healing for the people that you know in your life, whoever you're holding in your heart, just imagine them surrounded by light. And also remember to surround yourself in light, because that is our job on this earth, is to work on ourselves and to know and understand ourselves. And so, friends, as we send those healing thoughts and we allow our heart to open, we ask, may I be at ease in my body, feeling the ground beneath my seat and my feet. May I be attentive and gentle towards my own discomfort and suffering. May I be attentive and grateful for my own joy and well-being. May I move towards other people freely and with openness. May I receive sympathy from others and understanding and compassion. May I be happy. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be peaceful and at ease. We pray, may all beings be happy. May all beings be well. And may all beings be safe and at ease. And now, friends, we're going to just put some music on for you to send your thoughts out to those people that you know and people that you may not know. Amen, friends. Thank you. Amen. And just take a moment just to feel that energy that you've generated, that we've generated as a community, that healing vibration, and just allow that peace to flow through you and just embrace the grace of that moment, everybody. Okay, now I'd like to hand over to you, Suzette, for the reading that you picked for us this evening.
Thank you very much. Well, everybody, I really struggled with the reading for this evening. I kind of bobbed around with some different things, and I settled on a poem that's by a lady that is up in Dundee, and she's connected to a church up there. And it's a beautiful poem, and she's 80 years old, and she's given many, many, many years of her life to the church and to being on the committee, and selfishly for no, nothing in return. And the poem I've chosen tonight is called Experiences in Life. We often look back on our life at events in bygone years, the times our minds were troubled, the times we shed many tears. These weren't meant to happen, experiences we had to endure, essential for our spiritual growth and worthwhile, we may be sure. We could appreciate the sunshine if we'd never felt the rain, or understand someone's suffering if we've never experienced pain. Just look back at the happy times, the times that gave you pleasure. Keep them installed within your heart as memories to be treasured. We also worry about the future, what the days ahead will bring. We often worry needlessly about unimportant things. So let us take a day at a time, thinking not of future or past, and do the best we can each day, because each day of our earthly lives, God has given us with his love. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What was the name of the author of that poem?
So it's Goddess Cook, and it's called Experiences in Life. And she's a lady that works on the community of the Church of the Spirit of Dundee, and she wrote a collection of poems, and she's got some really beautiful ones, and very heartfelt ones. And I kept getting drawn back to that one, because we spoke really yesterday, didn't we, when we did it live, and kept getting drawn back to that. So I just thought, in this time at the moment, that felt there was a relevant.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for that. And if at any point there's anything that resonates with you, feel free to drop your thoughts that are occurring for you as you're in this moment with us at home. If anything comes up for you, then please do put it in the comments and the chat, because I know that Suzette's very keen, and I'm very keen this evening to include you as part of this address and service. But for now, I'd like to hand over to you, Suzette, for your thoughts. What's coming up for you with that reading, or what's coming from Spirit?
The reading, just the title itself, and the lady that had been on this earth for 80 years, has written this wonderful collection of poems and experiences in life. And yesterday, when we briefly spoke, we talked about community, and how I'm very real, so I like to be real. So I recognise things around me that affect our lives. And the one thing within that, experiences in life, is that we all have them. Every single one of us have experiences in life, whether we count them as good ones, bad ones, experiences of learning, however we want to quantify them, we all have them. And that's the one thing as well that we can share when we come together. And we come together as a community. And we also spoke yesterday about there's a lot of dialogue out there at the moment about, people coming back into the churches and the centres, and how do we reach younger people? How do we do all of that? And we reach those, and we reach everybody through communities, because that's how we form. That's where we're humans, and we have our tribes, and we come together. And it's not necessarily through our words that we can build our communities. It's through our actions and how we are as people. And for people that are on here tonight, some might have a belief in God, some might not have a belief in God. And we have to ask ourselves, in this moment, how relevant is that? If we're coming together with a faith in each other, and how do we quantify our beliefs? How do we know that our belief and our faith is enough to carry us through? How is all that measured for us at this time? So we're going through such unexpected times, and we've probably heard it time and time again on here from people talking about the issues of lockdowns, and everybody's worlds getting sometimes getting smaller, and for some of us our worlds have got bigger. Zoom and FaceTime and WhatsApp video, for a lot of people, have enabled them to make big connections and be able to spider out and make some real connections with people. So it is community connections, 2 C's at the moment that come together. And I wonder how we are going to walk forward and keep ourselves with this community. So on here tonight, I'm not able to see who's coming on and who's commenting. Ashley has all that. And I'm just aware that hopefully as the time goes on, more and more people on there. But even tonight, as we sit here, we've come together in knowing that there will be like-minded people here. There will be people that will have open minds and open hearts, and we can join them. It's a place where there's no judgment. And how often do we find that in life? How often can we go to a space and we think, I can just be here and it's fine. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I just have to turn up. That's it. I just have to turn up. And the beauty of being able to do this here tonight, and being able to go out to everybody. So it doesn't matter if, you've got out of your pajamas today, if you're still in your bed, because for some people with either physical or mental health issues, for whatever reason, that will be immense. But we can still speak to you. You can still hear me. You can still hear Ashley. You can still feel that community and see that community building. And it's about connecting with humanity, in an ethical way, in a compassionate way, and compassion for our fellow man. And that's everybody. And sometimes that can be hard to be compassionate in times when we're feeling lonely, when we're feeling down, and we don't feel like we have that much to give. There's a quote that sometimes does the rounds on Facebook, and it is about, if you smile at somebody, that can be and could be the only smile or the only gesture of kindness that they see that day. And why not let it come from you? Why not? And in all of this, it becomes a harder and harder thing to do sometimes, is make connections when we are so far away. And when I was thinking about connections today, I'd kind of, with my readings as well, I'd ping-ponged all over the place. I knew what connections are. I know how good connections feel. And I thought, I need to sit here tonight and I have to connect to everybody. I have to be able to do that. But I'll only connect to people here tonight that feel that power that comes from the spirit that I have here, from how I feel within this world. And as I was trying to formulate my address, so I listened to a little bit of Oprah podcast, Super Soul Sunday. And I was listening away and I thought, oh no, that isn't quite right. And I read an article in a magazine that I was going to use as the reading about Super Vet on Channel 4, which was really interesting and very compassionate. And that didn't seem right either. And I thought, you know what, after looking at everything that's around me, the only thing I can bring here tonight is me and what I can offer. I can offer the compassion and the reality of where I sit in my belief. And I believe that connections are, and community are, one of the most important things that we have and we can join together in at the moment. It offers so much to so many. In this time out there at the moment, we read about people not having school dinners over half term. And, one person has said that. And look at how he has been, received in that. Local councils, restaurants, supermarkets, cafes, people in their own homes have all stood together saying, we will help. We will help. We don't want payment for this. You know, we recognise that within our communities that there are people that have less than us. And because we're able to give, then let us give. I say sometimes within some of my meditations, and it's only about the breath in and the breath out, is as we take in, we also give out. So as we take from our communities, as we take, and I say take in the nicest possible way, it allows us to give back as well. It gives that two-way traffic for us to be able to open up and just do that. You know, for many people at this time, it's hard to get out. It's hard to even have a conversation with somebody. And did we ever think we would be like that, where we could never have a chat? We could never go, you know, and say hello to somebody that we know. So these times are different, certainly different, but coming together and being this community, being, as I say it, a beacon of light, and I just look at the little symbol in the corner there, being the beacons of light that people are able to spot, because that's what lighthouses are. They're there to help people in times of danger, to help people when they cannot see for whatever reason. That's why mankind put them on the coast, to guide people in. And if we can all be those lighthouses, if we just have that spark within us that's lit, it will be recognised, because we don't have to speak. It's by our actions that people will see what we have and what we can offer each other. And I just wonder, as I'm speaking, how that sits with people, how people have been able to navigate their way in this time, and what community means to them, and how they've been able to experience community in different ways. For some people before, they probably maybe never experienced community, or the sense of belonging like we do now. And maybe for some people that world got smaller, and people miss the community. They haven't got the technology to be able to keep connected, and they're doing it in many different ways. And it's sharing, isn't it? Is when we can share our joy, and we share our pain, and we share our experiences. And I'll go back to Gladys's lovely poem. We share our life's experiences, and from that we can build, on what we build, and what we can form together makes a fantastic foundation for anybody to be there, to be able to make their pathway forward with it. But it comes from all of us. We are all capable in one way, sense, or form of coming together. So I'm just wondering, as I'm talking away here about my reality in it, is how people are feeling at the moment, and what this all brings us in community.
So actually, as you were speaking, completely unprompted, and that is grace in action, isn't it? That people were feeling moved by what you were saying, that before you even asked the question, people were offering. So Angie, lovely Angie, was talking about coming together as community being a real blessing, and how that feeling of just being welcomed into a family of open-hearted people is something that should not be taken for granted. It's wonderful. Thank you, Angie. And then Melissa raised a really good point about being in a community is important for good mental health. I know you've touched on that, Suzette, but it's really important, not just soul health, but also mental health.
Emotional, soul well-being, because this is, we're in a time of change, and some people, I spoke yesterday, I'm very, I enjoy change. But even with an enjoyment of change, these times I felt have been hard. At times they have been hard. And I think, we have to be real when we cover up and we just, we go on. We almost let our soul and our spirit just reside within very quietly. And we're here to connect. As the lady before, I think it was Angie, spirit is not judgmental. And the spirit is if we talk about spirit discarnate, certainly not judgmental. And we need to take that essence and bring that to the spirit incarnate, and for all of the spirits that are here within the community to leave that judgmental part there and replace it with acceptance and compassion. Because this is what is needed. The human race at the moment are all globally affected by the same thing. We all are connected totally by one thing, and one thing has changed all of our lives. Every single person on this planet has had their lives changed in this since March, or before actually. So we've all experienced change this year. There's not one person that has not.
The point you made about judgment as well, because we can be really hard on ourselves. We always think about the word judgment being looking outwardly at us, judging other people. And it's kind of human nature, isn't it? That when the chips are down and everyone's backs are to the wall, it's very easy to be in that place of judgment, isn't it? It's very easy to say, well, this is my view, and anything that's different to my view must be, in essence, wrong, or and not helped by everything that's on. Ironically, we're on Facebook now, but everything on social media and kind of in the media just kind of helps to polarize us, doesn't it? When actually it's about us coming together.
It is, and it's I in my prayer, I said, let us open up our minds and our hearts to every possibility, and it's keeping our minds and our hearts open. And sometimes through some life experiences, that is incredibly hard for some people. And for us to recognise that in ourselves and in others is a big step of being again connected in some sort of way. And where does judgment take us? When we are in a place of judgment, whether it's our internal critic or our external one, where does that take us? What does that ever take us to? Sometimes that place where we feel joy and that we feel connected, it can leave us in a very lonely place. So in a reality, because I like to be real, in reality, how judgmental do we really want to be? Because we have a choice. We do have a choice, and we have a choice to be kind to ourselves and kind to others.
Yeah. Perfect, thank you. And it's so beautiful how it all kind of linked in, because for the last couple of weeks I've been feeling really moved to read the metta prayer as the healing prayer, which is meant to be it's badly translated, the prayer of compassion, which is about just looking through the eyes of everyone in the planet and understanding and recognizing that we're all learning, and accepting also that we need help because we're learning and we're going through our own things, and to try and kind of be okay to ask for that. And it's amazing. Angie came back with another beautiful point, is to let people know that we're not okay. And sometimes we can be really bad at that. As people who are spiritually minded, think we're all about giving, all about giving and service, and we can be very bad at asking.
We have, a lot of people have that saying, don't they? We'll go, we're fine. And sometimes we're not. And truly, when we feel that we're able to say we're not fine, because in that moment with that person, with that group, we know that being fine is acceptable, that we're able to actually show ourselves from a place of vulnerability. Because we're human and we are all vulnerable in some way, shape or form. And that is the uniqueness of each and every one of us. And it should be, for me, I feel celebrated, celebrated that we have this vulnerability, we have this ability to not feel fine, because as Gladys said in there, if we don't experience one thing, how will we know what something else feels like? So these are all the things, are all life experiences that we can take forward and use in the best way possible, and use positively, and use for mankind. And your prayer there that joins everybody together. Certainly, like I said, this year, we have all been joined together. Wherever it is, whether it's the tribes in the rainforest, people that are in business in New York, the farmers in the West Country, wherever we have been, wherever there is a person, that person has been touched by what's happening. So we all universally have come together in some way, shape or form, in our thoughts, in our prayers, in our hopes, in our dreams, in the way that we're looking at things. There's been a collectiveness that's happened here. And some people would say it's not in the best situation, and it has been tragic for a lot of people. Really, really has been tragic. Again, through tragedy, we are able again to move forward and help people that need this, and not just by words, as we spoke yesterday. And part of what I do is I work with children that haven't got the cognitive ability or the verbal understanding that we have. And so how am I supposed to tell them that we have a faith and we have a belief and stay strong, and in times when you're not feeling the greatest? And I can't explain that to them in words sometimes. I can't explain it to them because they won't understand. But what I can do is, through my actions, through the way that I am with people, is say, there is a spark of that droplet of God within me that will be with you. And that recognition of spirit to spirit of, this person is here for me. So many people around the world that help people like that have to give that love that is recognised between two people. Not necessarily in the relationship as we see in that sense, but in a relationship, in a connection, and that holds people. So it's not always our words, and it's not always our actions. It will be the energy and that exchange that spirit and that soul just know it's okay. This person is here for me.
Yeah, beautifully put. Because as you're talking, I'm kind of reflecting on the fact that there was a big disrupt, and the disrupt wasn't just in global events, but it caused a disrupt in us at a soul level, didn't it, earlier this year? That actually through force, everything was disrupted and changed, and it just gave us the opportunity just to stop and get off the hamster wheel, and the instinctive reaction, and the thing which always gives me hope. And I love that quote that came, and it's been knocking around for years and years, which is when bad things happen, my mum always says to me to look for the helpers. And it was just so heartfelt how, when everyone stopped in that moment of stillness and silence, our instinctive reaction as spirits incarnate was to look left and right and see how everyone else was doing.
Yeah.
That was our instinctive reaction. I take massive hope from that.
Yeah. And that's what brings us together. That's what makes us human, is that ability to help each other. Because where would we be if we all just stopped in our tracks and just kept looking forward and nobody looked left or right? Where would we be now? But through our experiences, through our life, we've been able to learn to look left and look right and look down and say, who needs our help? Let me help you.
Yeah, that's marvellous. My goodness, so many thoughts. This is just generating so much reflection, exactly as I hoped it would be. And I know that we discussed this exactly as it would be, because one of the things we've got the opportunity to do is to use this as a disruption from the way that we would normally do a Sunday service, which is that the speaker stands at the front of the hall and delivers a reading, then delivers an address, and then sits down, has a glass of water, a hymn, and then mediumship. And actually just to say, we need to have this opportunity to discuss.
Yeah.
discuss what's coming up for us and some of the wisdom that's coming from the speakers. So I'm really pleased that everyone is jumping on board and chipping in. There's been some beautiful comments. I just wanted to mention a couple of ones that were coming up here, because everyone's agreeing completely. So Nicola is talking about, yeah, okay, that's wonderful. Her spiritualism's changed her life. Amazing. Coming to this understanding. It really does. And working together to make a difference. Who else? Oh, hello, Jennifer. So she found community via these services. Yes, of course. Okay, there's that, but there's that concern that this will all go back to normal, whatever normal is, whenever we get back to normal. What are your thoughts on that, Suzette? Do you think that we will? We'll lose it, or do you think we're going to keep it?
Are we going to rebalance it? I think we've taken that word normal and I think it's really been thrown around quite a lot, hasn't it? Because we're saying, okay, we're going to create the new normal. We're going to be the new normal. And it's up to us as people. It's up to the community that we create to decide what has now actually worked for us and brought people together. And we spoke briefly the other evening, and we said, people are saying, how are we going to get more people through our doors? Well, really, I'm not sure how many people are online tonight that are viewing, and where you are in the country or even in the world globally. But how would we get you through the doors tonight in Weymouth if we were not on this? The reality of this is that we can take the belief and the love that we feel within this faith, and we can share it with so many people because we're choosing a different platform. When I was reading today about Channel 4's Supervet, he's the guy that does the little bionic legs on animals, and really does a great job. And it was really a heartfelt article that was written. And he said his one of his pets was critically ill when this was being written, and he said if that accident had happened 10 or 15 years ago, the progression that has been made through that kind of medicine with animals was that his pet the operations and the critical care that was happening now would not have happened unless the barriers and the progression had been pushed through the medical science of the veterinary world. And isn't that what we have to do? Yeah. Do I need to stand on a platform? Do I need to be behind a pulpit for me to speak to each and every one of you and touch your minds and touch your hearts and touch your spirit and your souls? Do I need to be there? This is my platform. This is my pulpit. You are my congregation. The space around me is the church and the centre that I need to stand in. I feel my own presence. I feel the presence of everybody else here. Is that enough? For everybody that wants to connect in some way, we can't all walk through the same physical door, but we can open the doors to our minds and our hearts and reach each other in that way.
I'm just going to let that sit a minute. Amen to that. My goodness. I don't know how that landed with all of you, but that really touched me just for a very split second. I can definitely feel the presence of my helpers and my team around me. Absolutely wonderful thoughts, and very inspiring and uplifting to all of us that we're all doing our thing. And that, yeah, there's been some barriers broken down that I don't think will ever go back up again. And I think my own personal feeling is that I feel personally very empowered by this time to be able to be of service where I'm needed, go where I'm needed, and to speak openly and freely, because I think the times allow it. I think this is the time where actually we've been given all the justification that we need to be able to be there and be in that open-hearted, loving presence, looking with compassion, and just being there and being present for somebody.
it's time for voices to be heard, isn't it? It's a time for, everybody can, can type into the chat box. That's your voice. Everybody can join in with anything that's here this evening. You have the ability. That's what is being offered. Tonight from the churches, we're offering you this space to have a voice, join the community, and come together as one. And that's the reality of what is going on for lots at the moment. Is we can offer, and we hope that it is taken.
Wonderful. My goodness, what a joy it's been. Gentle grace, beautiful. Your sense of presence to me is absolutely marvelous, and I'm sure everyone can experience that for themselves at home. It's been a real joy to chair for you this evening, Suzette. I would just like to thank everyone who's put their comments on there, and there's been so many comments and they've been such beautiful words. I'm going to go back after the service and read through all of them. Thank you so much for contributing and wanting to be a very physical and present part of this community. So thank you all. Yeah. I would like to hand over. I don't really want to end this evening, but I need to hand over to you, Suzette, to do the closing prayer for us and to kind of send us on our way with lots of joy and light in our hearts for the rest of the week. So I'd like to hand over to you, Suzette, for our closing prayer, if I may.
Okay. So everybody in your space, if you would just like to either lower your gaze or close your eyes and just join me in this power that we've created this evening. As we touch the divine and universal energy, as we walk our journey and our pathway, let us have a blessing on each and every head that has joined us this morning, and each and every head that takes grace on this planet. Let us, in our knowing and in the opportunities that are offered to us, make our way forward. Let us do that in your name, and let us do that in love. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone that's joined us this evening. We will see you next Sunday at 6:15. Please do join us then. Just embrace the grace. Embrace the grace. Take that light and that love with you, and that beautiful closing prayer. Thank you so much, Suzette. We will see you next week. See you later, everybody. Have a blessed week. See you later. Bye.
Bye.